The enigmatic, fairy circles, of the Namib Desert, characterized by barren, circular patches of soil surrounded by rings of stimulated grass growth, often Stipagrostis, have puzzled scientists for decades. Ranging from 2 to 15 meters, sometimes up to 20 m, in diameter, these features can persist for 30 to 70 years, with some lasting centuries. While originally thought to be exclusively in Namibia, similar formations have been identified in Western Australia, expanding the mystery to another continent. In this video I will explain the mysterious fairy circles in the Namib Desert. The Namib Desert's fairy circles are one of nature's most enduring mysteries, a landscape that looks like it was hit by a giant, perfectly spaced polka-dot stencil. While they look supernatural, the explanation lies in a fascinating battle for survival in a harsh environment. Currently, the scientific community is split between two main theories, though many now believe it is a combination of both. The sand termite theory. The sand termite theory, primarily championed by biologist Norbert Jurgens, suggests that these circles aren't just accidental bare spots, but sophisticated pieces of biological engineering. In this view, the termites are ecosystem engineers, creating a permanent oasis in a landscape that is otherwise bone dry for most of the year. How the theory works. The process is driven by the species Samotermes alloceros. Unlike many other termites that build mounds above ground, these live entirely within the sand. The termites consume the roots of short-lived, ephemeral, grasses in a specific circular area. By killing these plants, they stop their transpiration process, the way plants suck water out of the ground and release it into the air. Without plants to drink the water, any rain that falls on the bare patch sinks into the porous sand and stays there. Because the sand on the surface dries out and forms an insulating layer, the moisture trapped deep below doesn't evaporate. The edges of the circle become extra lush because the grass there has access to their leakage from the termites' underground water reservoir. This creates the characteristic green ring or fringe. This stored water allows the termites to stay hydrated and active even during multi-year droughts that would kill off other insects. The main counterargument. The biggest challenge to this theory came in 2014, when fairy circles were discovered in Western Australia. These circles were nearly identical to the ones in Namibia, but researchers found no evidence of termites at the Australian sites. This led many to believe that while termites can cause them in Africa, the plant competition theory, where plants self-organize to find water, might be the more universal explanation. The plant competition theory, or the self-organization theory, suggests that fairy circles aren't caused by insects, but by the grasses themselves. In this scenario, the patterns are the result of a high-stakes war for water in a landscape where there isn't enough to go around. The mechanism: short-range facilitation, long-range inhibition. This theory relies on a principle called self-organization. The plants behave like a single, intelligent system to maximize their chances of survival. In the desert, it's hard for a single blade of grass to survive the heat. However, if plants grow close together, they shade the soil, keep it cool, and help water soak in. This is why the edges of the fairy circles are so lush. The plants are helping each other stay hydrated. Short-range facilitation, the green ring. In the desert, it's hard for a single blade of grass to survive the heat. However, if plants grow close together, they shade the soil, keep it cool, and help water soak in. This is why the edges of the fairy circles are so lush. The plants are helping each other stay hydrated. Long-range inhibition, the barren center. To maintain that lush fringe, the plants need a massive amount of water. Their roots act like powerful pumps, sucking moisture from the surrounding area. The plants in the ring pull so much water toward themselves that they effectively starve the ground in the center. No new seeds can sprout in that middle zone because the established plants on the perimeter have already claimed every drop of moisture. Turing patterns. Scientists who support this theory point out that fairy circles look exactly like Turing patterns. Named after the mathematician Alan Turing, these are patterns that appear in nature, like leopard spots or zebra stripes, when two chemicals or forces react and spread at different speeds. In the Namib Desert, their activator is the plant growth, which spreads slowly. Their inhibitor is the water depletion, which spreads quickly through the soil. When these two forces balance out, they create their polka-dot pattern of circles. Computer models using these equations can perfectly recreate the maps of the Namib Desert without needing to include termites at all. Why this theory gained momentum? For a long time, the termite theory was the favorite. However, two things changed the conversation. The Australian discovery. In 2014, identical fairy circles were found in the Australian outback. When researchers dug them up, they found no termites. This proved that the pattern can form through plant competition alone. Rainfall correlation. Researchers noticed that fairy circles only appear in a very specific Goldilocks zone of rainfall, not too dry, where nothing grows, and not too wet, where everything grows. This suggests the pattern is a direct response to water stress. Their unified view. Most modern ecologists now believe both theories are likely correct and work together. The termites might create the initial bare patch, and then their plant competition mechanics take over, using the Turing pattern math to stabilize the circle and keep it perfectly shaped for decades.